featured performer will be opening the next Borderline Folk Music Club house concert on Sunday, October 19th for Marcy Geller, another Long Island artist. I first met Jim Colbert about 5 years ago as we were both sitting and enjoying the late and lamented SMAF, Susquehanna Music and Arts Festival in Darlington, Maryland. I didn't know at the time. I knew at the time that Jim was involved with the Acoustic Brew concert series in central Pennsylvania. I think I knew at the time that he was also a folk DJ at WPSU, part of the group of DJs that host the folk show there. I don't think I knew until a year or two later that he was also a very talented singer-songwriter. And don't just take my word for it. He has some awards to prove it. He won the Pennsylvania Heritage Songwriting Competition as well as the Susquehanna Folk Music Society's Songwriting Competition. You've heard him already because he's been you've heard him talking already because, like me, he's been emceeing today. But now, please welcome singer-songwriter Jim Colbert.
Thank you, Mike. I said I wore a number of different hats. I realized I actually didn't have a second hat to change into, so just pretend this is a singer-songwriter hat. A lot of my songs are about central Pennsylvania and the people and places there. I write a lot of slow, sad songs. Then I started branching out into slightly faster, slow songs, sad songs. But then I thought, hey, what I really need is some songs with a promise of hope, and that's what this one is. It's about a barn fire that took place a little south of, actually in Huntington, Pennsylvania, a little south of where I live, but kind of gets the outlook of hope thing going on at the end. So this is called It Took Hands. This faded barn's been standing since the war to end all wars. But the fresh-faced kid who milked the cows, he's marching home no more. That mail pouch sign's a specter from generations past. The sulfur smell, the tiny spark, it fades away so fast. It took hands to raise this barn, to raise it from the ground. 1,000 planks and boards, one match to burn it down. That wood was checked and splintered from winter's ice and snows. Still it offered sanctuary from the wind and rain and cold. Summer's heat had turned the oak, faded soft and gray in the twinkle of a match flare that history's burned away. It took faith to build this barn, a promise for the years. Now neighbors hang their heads, they can't hold back their tears. Well, that barn was in the family since before we could recall. It was built by faces we just know, photos on the wall. And it stood the Great Depression through droughts and hurricanes. Now it's just black logs and embers smoldering in the summer's rain. It took pride to build this barn, a dozen able Now it's only pale gray ashes that are scattering in the wind. They say from dust we come, to dust we shall return. And in between, if fortune smiles, we live and love and learn. Well, perhaps that's true of buildings too. Perhaps they just don't mind to stand up for their families and to work hard in their time. It takes love to raise this barn, to make it stand again. A village and a family where strangers bond as friends. Love rebuilds this barn, and love rebuilds us all. A festival time is too powerful to fall. It took faith to build this, pride to build this, hands to build this barn. Well, I have a confession to make. No, Jim, don't tell the story. You don't know me well enough to make that judgment yet. Someday you might. I kind of chickened out on this next song. Up until this morning, I was going to play it on banjo. And I just plain chickened out. I don't know what else to say. You know what? You got Jeff Scroggins here. You know, you don't need to hear me sounding like I'm playing a banjo with oven mitts on. Then I realized on the drive up, it was about a 4-hour drive for me. Beautiful day to play outside. You know, just I love my Borderline family, and I thank you so much for letting me be part of this again. Then I realized on the way up, I haven't really practiced this song too much on guitar. Then it started sounding like banjo might have been a better choice. But anyway, I could kind of picture Pete Seeger just saying, "Just play it. Just play it." So I'm going to give it a shot. This is one of my favorite Pete Seeger songs, Quite Early Morning. Don't you know it's darkest before the dawn? It's the keys be moving on.
Yeah.
If we could just heed these early mornings.
No.
Time is now, quite early morning. If we could heed these early mornings. Time is now, quite early morning. Some say humankind will not endure. What makes them so doggone sure? I know that you hear my singing. Make those freedom bells start ringing. I know that you hear my singing. Make those freedom bells start ringing. So we keep on while we live, until we have no more to give. When my fingers they can strum no longer, give my old guitar to the young one stronger. when my fingers strum no longer. Give my old guitar to the young one stronger. Though it's darkest before the dawn, these thoughts keep us moving on. Through all this world of joy and sorrow, we still can have singing tomorrow. Through all this world of joy and sorrow, we still can have freedom tomorrow. It's darkest before the dawn.
What?
Oh, thank you very much. Close out with one more, but I have a short manifesto to read first. No, a little quote. And a lot of performers here had personal relationships with Pete Seeger. I was not quite that fortunate. But I was reading a book this summer called Dangerously Funny. It was a story about the Smothers Brothers television show. Really worth reading if you're ever interested. But there was a quote in there from Mason Williams. If you know the tune Classical Gas, Mason Williams wrote that. He's a wonderful multi-instrumentalist. But Mason said, "You could be a great singer. You could be a great instrumentalist. You could be a great songwriter. But you could never be Pete Seeger unless you embraced humanity the way he does." And I thought that was really nice. Yeah. So in that spirit, I'm going to close out. Thank you again so much for inviting me back here. Looking forward to seeing some of you on October 19th. Marcy Geller is wonderful. And I will have some live CDs for sale at that show, just a short run. But anyway, this song was inspired by a friend of mine. I started playing guitar relatively late in life. I was just shy of 40 years old. And a friend of mine named Lee Westman had written them, because I wanted to write songs. You know, it wasn't really about I wanted to be, a champion. I didn't want to be Jeff Scroggins. Right? And it was a little too late in life to be approaching that point. I wanted to write songs. I think I got to that point. But a friend of mine, Lee Westman, told me it's not really a song until someone hears it. Because up to that point, I had only been singing for like my cats. They leave the room. I didn't take it personally. They're cats. But Lee told me, Lee was instrumental, no pun intended, in getting me out in public to play at an open mic 2 days before my 40th birthday, when I had played for about 3 months so far. And I do this for him, but also for Pete, because I think it's kind of that mind. I think he would like this mindset. This is called Until Someone Hears It. It ain't a song. It has a little refrain that's sort of a chorus. If you want to join in, you'll notice it when it comes up, but I don't want to talk no more. So, thank you for listening.
I know.
Well, a friend of mine told me before he passed on, oh, until someone hears it, it ain't a song. You can play in your bedroom from midnight to dawn. Oh, until someone hears it, it ain't a song. Transcription, notation, you've got it all wrong. Oh, until someone hears it, it ain't a song. And in the air and the heart is where music belongs. Until someone hears it, it ain't a song. Troubadours, songwriters share where they've been. All the tramps and the hawkers will sing what they've seen. someone hears it, it ain't a song. Simple or symphony, gentle or strong. Until someone hears it, it ain't a song. Well, the buskers all tell you before they're moved on. Oh, until someone hears it, it ain't a song. Let it ring from the rafters and rattle the walls. Drift through the doorways and on down the hall. Let the harmonies echo and the voices be strong. Yeah, until someone hears it, it ain't a song. So here's a toast to the living, those that are gone. Until someone hears it, it ain't a song. And in music and memory, their spirits live on. Oh, until someone hears it, it ain't a song. Well, a friend of mine told me before he passed on, till someone hears it, it ain't a song.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening. Lots of great music.